Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing over there?
Well, hey there. I'm great. How are you?
Fabulous, fabulous. Hey, according to a study published in the medical journal Pediatrics, the more television that preschool children watch, the more likely they are to be overweight. So the more TV they watch, the more...
They're sitting down.
Oh, well, there you go. So this is just in little kids, apparently. So good news is if you're an adult and you watch a lot of TV.
No, I'm pretty sure it works all across the board.
Does it?
Yeah.
See, it doesn't say that in my story, so I'm just assuming. I'm going out on a limb right now. Hey, we're going to be talking to a doctor later in the program. We're going to be talking with Dr. Katz. He's got the Bad Breath Bible, and he's got a product that he created for his daughter, which I think is really cool. We're going to be chatting all about that here in a little while. And we got a lot of fun things to share on a Thursday, so stick around and buckle up for a fun-filled, action-packed episode of The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Thursday, the 25th day of February. Today is Introduce a Girl to Engineering Day. And I want to say, I know some females that are engineers, and that's an awesome thing. You never really think about that, but, you know, some fields have more men than women. Some fields have more women than men. So today is the day. If you're an engineer of some sort, you're supposed to introduce a girl to engineering today. So,
okay.
There you go. It's also National Chili Day. Of the two, that's the one I'll celebrate. Because I don't know any, I know some engineers and I know some girls, but I'm going to celebrate the chili thing because that sounds delicious. I love chili. I'm the only one in the family that likes it, though.
I'll eat it, but
Yeah,
I've
you guys
never
don't.
once woken up and said, I could really use some chili today.
Today is the day to get out and enjoy some chili. It's a Thursday, the 25th day of February.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio. The headline says, glad to meet you, but meet is spelled funny. It's M-E-A-T.
Okay.
It's not the normal way to spell meat in a situation like that. Well, let me explain what I'm talking about here. The breeze Billy Stam was feeling coming through his butcher shop wasn't from an open door. It was from a giant hole in the wall where a car crashed into the store's front window.
Yikes.
Yeah, 66-year-old Mary Moffett of Erlanger, Ohio, literally drove her car through the front window of Stam's Choice Meats. Mary says her gas pedal got stuck. She was not hurt, but the crash sent Billy Stam's father, who's the owner of the butcher shop, to the hospital.
Oh.
What's more odd is this. After the crash, Mary picked up her order, which was salami and some other deli meats, and drove home. It was the second time in 3 years that somebody has crashed through the same window.
Huh.
So she crashed through. Dad got to go to the hospital, and she's like, well, sorry, guys. I was here to pick up my salami and other
They
meats.
might either want to look for a new location
Yeah,
or put
well-
up some pretty heavy-duty curbing.
Yeah, or something. Because
Nice
if they're
tall
having
little partial wall in front of the...
2 times now in 3 years,
Yeah, that's
they
crazy.
come smashing through. But
What are
that's
the
why I was
odds?
glad to meet you, M-E-A-T. Ha, 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 ha. So there you go. Have you ever seen anybody do that? Drive through a window
Yes.
or something? Where did you see it at?
I worked at a Ford dealership.
Yeah, and
and
somebody
one of
drove-
our salesmen.
A salesman did it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I worked also at a dealership, but it wasn't a Ford dealership. It was General Motors dealership. And somebody got in a vehicle they were test driving, and the salesperson said, so you know how to drive a stick shift, right? Yep, I know how. And he puts it in reverse, he thought, looks over his shoulder and guns it and smashes right through the windshield.
Exactly what our salesman
He
did.
drove right into the showroom. I was like, well, that's going to be fun to maybe clean up. I didn't have to, thank goodness. Anyway, this happened at Stam's Meats twice now in 3 years. And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. Now, this is the second or third time we've talked about people who are doing this. This is just a bad idea. It's not a good idea to advertise your product on the internet if your product is illegal. This young man from Bridgeport, Connecticut,
That goes without saying.
yeah, age 24, posted an ad on Craigslist. Guess what it said?
I have no idea.
Mary Jane in Fairfield County.
Oh, my gosh.
The ad offered a half ounce of, quote, A-plus marijuana
An idiot.
for $220 and the same amount of B-plus marijuana for $160. Now, I don't even know if that's a good deal. I have no clue. I've never in my life bought marijuana. I've never smoked. I have no interest in that. His first customer, though, was who? The police.
The police,
Yeah,
of course.
An undercover police officer. It was also his last customer, by the way. So Steven Zarowski gets to spend a little time behind bars now.
Wow.
Don't do that. That's the
No.
dumb kind of stuff you do when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Can you just walk off the job once your day is through? Well, that's what one bus driver did. In Corsica, Texas, a Greyhound bus driver apparently took her work hours very seriously. She was driving a chartered Greyhound bus. She was taking 40 paroled former prisoners from the state prison in Huntsville to Dallas. However, about 60 miles short of Dallas, she pulled into a
Oh, my
convenience
gosh.
store, told her passengers that my hours are up for the day and I'm done. A clerk from the store called police. Officers arrived to find the former prisoners milling around the bus. Officer Travis Wallace said their behavior was exemplary. They finally got another driver and got on their way. Greyhound spokesperson Dustin Clark
Wow.
said company officials are investigating the incident, calling it a, quote, very serious matter.
Yeah, I would say so.
So that's going to do it for my time. Have a good day, everybody. See you later. Okay, I won't really go. I'll stay. Well,
That means I get to be in charge.
Maybe you guys want me to go. Maybe that's what we should. Hey, we got the scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. The Fairfax, Virginia Police Department says that 32-year-old Jonathan M. Magnus of New Jersey was drunk when he threw a sandwich at a 50-year-old man at a pizzeria and then drove away. Authorities say the victim, who was not injured, tailed Magnus before officers arrived and pulled over the suspect. So,
Why would you follow somebody that threw a sandwich at you? What's the big deal?
I don't know. The guy was drunk, so he was probably following because the guy was drunk and he drove away. It's like, you know what? I don't think so. You don't do that. Not in my town, mister. Because the guy was from Virginia and the other guy was from New Jersey, so he was just visiting. And
Just
while he was-
visiting and decided to
Yeah.
lob a sandwich at
While he
somebody.
was visiting, he's like, I'm going to share my sandwich right up the side of your head. A truck carrying dough bound for Domino's restaurants struck an overpass in Indianapolis. The collision sheared the top of the truck off, spilling lumps of dough all over the road. I bet
that's
that
a
would have been
sticky
yucky.
situation.
Yeah. Hey, a self-driving Google car was pulled over by the San Francisco Bay police officers. An officer noticed traffic backing up behind a slow-moving car, and he pulled over a car with no driver in it. So, who gets the ticket for that, I wonder?
See, that's the problem with those things.
A 40-year-old New Jersey woman has pled guilty to stealing from comedian Joe Piscopo and agreed to pay restitution of over $170,000. So,
You know what's most alarming about this story?
what's that?
Is that Joe Piscopo is still making in the range of $170,000.
I don't know what she stole from Joe, but probably not any of his jokes. I'm just saying. Because they're not worth that much. I always liked Joe Piscopo. I thought he was a fun guy. So I'm sorry, Joe. That was kind of a cheap shot. Hey, the British accent is the most attractive in the world, according to an international survey. Britain came out ahead of American,
We read
Irish,
this.
and Australia. No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
By a generous margin. The French came in fifth. No, you probably read it online, but I have not. That's the first I've heard of that.
Okay.
I didn't even pre-read this today, so I have no clue
I
what I'm
think we
going to
should
say.
ask our listeners if you've told us this before.
I ain't never
You
said
might have been on
nothing before.
autopilot when you were reading it.
No,
but
no, I never read it. Never.
Okay,
That's
okay.
brand new stuff. New material, Heidi. New material. Chemicals used to make nonstick coatings on cookware and to waterproof fabrics may raise levels of cholesterol in children. What?
Yikes.
According to U.S. researchers, children that were in the study had the highest levels of these compounds in their blood, measurably higher levels of total cholesterol and LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol, compared with kids with lower readings. So they're saying chemicals in nonstick coatings and chemicals that are designed to waterproof fabrics could be hurting us, not helping us. Facebook admitted recently what many teens already know, that it's not cool to be on Facebook anymore. But while some stories would have you believe teens are dumping Facebook in droves, the company says while there is a decrease in daily use among teen users, just about every teen in the U.S. is still a member of their social site.
Yeah,
So,
our daughter has not gotten that memo. She's
No.
still on it all the time.
According to a recent Rasmussen poll, I think I said that right. That's how I hear the national news say it, Rasmussen. I've heard it pronounced other ways, too. Anyway, 37% of Americans believe that zombies would do a better job than Congress. 37% answered that survey. So
Wow.
that is just bizarre. Do you think zombies would do a better job than Congress?
I do not think
Okay.
zombies would do a better job
Here's
than
the reason, and
Congress.
I agree with Heidi finally on something political. The reason I disagree with the survey, and I agree with Heidi, is because zombies don't exist.
No. And they would eat each other and everybody
don't
else.
exist.
So
No.
how are they going to
don't know.
accomplish anything? That's
I
just a
have no idea.
ridiculous survey.
Yeah. Hey, let's move on with our strange law. Wearing ties is illegal on the South Padre Island. According to a proclamation adopted by the Texas Gulf Coast resort town, police will first give you, if you're a first-time offender, a written warning. If you get caught wearing a tie the second time, you'll be fined the amount of a fine silk tie, and the offending neckwear will be confiscated and destroyed. So they don't
Why?
want you wearing a tie in South Padre Island because they're saying, hey, it's casual down here. Don't you go wearing no tie and stinking the place up.
Jeez.
All right, coming up, we've got a lot of fun stuff to share. Thanks for listening. That is A Strange Law. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. Start earning 6%. Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com right now. What are you waiting for? Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, that's commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest we're going to chat with right now. Valentine's Day was just a short while ago, and Valentine's Day is a day we like to snuggle up with our sweetie and give her a smooch. But we're going to talk right now with Dr. Harold Katz about why we love this kissing thing. It's such a crazy thing. Dr. Katz, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great this morning. I woke up without morning breath.
That's good. And you're kind of the fresh breath guy, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a dentist. I have a degree in bacteriology. Been specializing in bad breath for many years. But we just passed Valentine's Day, and people always concerned about kissing. Kissing is something you should do every day, not just Valentine's Day.
And it's kind of funny. My wife makes fun of me because we were smooching one time, and this is going to sound really weird, but if you don't make the noise, if you just push your lips together, it is such a weird experience. And I don't know if you've ever done that before, but next time you're going to give somebody a kiss, it's got to be somebody that, that has a good sense of humor. Do that, because it's the weirdest thing ever. Without the little noise, it's just like your lips are smushing together. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So,
What's interesting about the lips, though, is your lips have more nerve endings than any other part of your body. So that's one reason why we actually enjoy that close contact of our lips. The noise is probably a separate thing, just to, I guess, put the period at the end of the sentence.
yeah.
But your lips need to be stimulated, and that's one of the reasons why kissing is so popular among humans, and some other animals do it too. The birds called puffins also kiss, and so we're not the only ones.
And I remember when I was a kid, I heard about what they called Eskimo kisses, and I don't know if they really do it, but it's where you like rub noses. Is that really a thing?
Right. I don't know. I haven't been to Alaska in a long time, so I'll have to do research next time I go.
So I'm reading here, I got some information from you that says kissing elevates your blood pressure, so it's good for you?
Yeah, what happens when as you're approaching to kiss someone, your heart starts to beat faster. your blood pressure goes up. It pushes more oxygen throughout your body, so you get a rush. You also have increased level of oxytocin and other very important chemicals in your body that make you feel better. So that's one reason why we do it. One of the things that I just learned recently is that anthropologists say that there's a couple of reasons why we kiss as well. One is that males contribute testosterone in their saliva when they kiss someone else. So that's one way of sort of laying out your territory by transferring the testosterone. And then there's another theory that is more pro-woman. It goes back to primates. Following primates, the mothers will chew the food and transfer the food to the baby through a kiss. So there's all sorts of reasons why we're doing it, but the basic thing, as we explained, makes you feel good. So let's do it.
Now, in here it says that kissing is good for your teeth. Now, you happen to know a little bit about teeth, being in that field. Again, visiting with Dr. Harold Katz right now. Is kissing good for your teeth?
Yes, it is, because along with making your heart beat faster, it also stimulates saliva production. And saliva happens to be nature's way of keeping your breath fresh, preventing tooth decay, and also preventing gum disease. Saliva has oxygen in it and also other natural enzymes and chemicals which prevent all those nasty things from happening. And the best analogy I can give you is when you're around a baby and they're always drooling and plenty of saliva. Well, their mouths are extremely healthy. But as we get older, when we smoke and drink a lot of alcohol, your mouth becomes drier, your mouth becomes less healthy.
Are there some other dental benefits to kissing, or is it mainly just when you're kissing you kind of have that more saliva going?
Well, saliva is actually a big benefit. What we've realized in my clinic here in Los Angeles, we specialize in bad breath. So the opposite of having saliva is dry mouth, and that's a major problem when it comes to oral health. So obviously you want to keep your mouth as moist as possible. We actually developed a formula which increases the amount of saliva that you have, and it also has oxygen compounds in it. It's called Therabreath, like therapy for your breath. It's quite different than the traditional mouthwashes, which have lots of alcohol in it. The leading mouthwash is up to 27% alcohol. That's more than a whole six-pack of beer, and drinking a six-pack of beer will not make you kissable. It'll make you a little drunk, but it won't make your breath very fresh. So if you're talking about oral health, you want your mouth to be moist and oxygen-rich, and that's what we're doing here at our clinic.
And it says here the mouth is full of bacteria, so when two people kiss, they exchange between 10 million and 1 billion bacteria. So that's where it's really important. You want to have that fresh breath, and you have Therabreath.com. That's the website where I can go to get the information. Tell me a little bit about Therabreath. How long has this been around?
It's been around for about 20 years. My own daughter had a bad breath problem when she was a teenager, and in helping her, we developed the formula. Because my background is in bacteriology, we recognize that the bacteria that cause bad breath, they're called anaerobic sulfur-producing bacteria. When your mouth is dry, they produce chemicals. One is hydrogen sulfide. That's the rotten egg smell. Another chemical they produce is called cadaverine. Another is called putrescine. Not my sister-in-law's name. That's a real chemical. Smell of rotting flesh. So that's what happened. Now, in my daughter's case, she was in the girls' basketball team. So after practice or after a game, her mouth was very dry. So in the carpool on the way home from school, her friends would offer her gum and mints all the time, to the point where it was extremely annoying. So she asked me, "Daddy, do I have bad breath?" And sure enough, what I realized with her, and it's very common among people that have bad breath, your tongue is no longer pink and shiny, but it has a whiter yellowish coating on it. And that's a sign of overproducing those sulfur compounds. So in helping her, we figured out the way to do this is to introduce oxygen, and that's how the Therabreath formulas came about. And fortunately, today you can get Therabreath at Walmart and Target and Walgreens and CVS and all those good stores. In fact, what we're doing, I have a new edition of my book out. It's called the Bad Breath Bible. So if your listeners want a free copy of the book along with some samples of Therabreath, just call my office. It's 800-557-6960.
And they get a free copy of the book and some samples as well?
Yeah, 800-557.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
95% of the entire lemon crop produced in the United States comes from 2 states. You know which 2?
No.
California and Arizona.
Huh.
Have you ever heard of Catch-22?
Yes.
And that's something that is kind of a common phrase. Catch-22 is like,
Yep.
no matter what you do, you're going to get
Damned
caught.
if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
You can say that.
Well, you know, it was originally going to be Catch-18.
Why?
That was the title of a book that kind of spawned that phrase. The title was originally Catch-18, but there was another book that came out right before that called Mila-18, so they changed it to Catch-22. Otherwise, it would be a Catch-18 every time.
There you go.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Dolphins hear by having sound waves transmit through their skulls to their inner ear region. That's why, if you never noticed, dolphins don't have ears. Yeah. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In the Dry Valley region of Antarctica, it has not rained in over 2 million years, according to scientists.
Whoa.
Yeah, none of them were there to see that happen either, pretty sure. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In Johannesburg, this average car will be involved in an accident once every 4 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, a couple other fun facts quick. The ostrich has a larger eye than a brain. Their eyes are bigger than their brain.
They do
for
have
ostrich.
huge eyes. I've never seen their brain, but their eyes are
There you go.
enormous.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
It's our final one. The largest stamp ever issued was from China. Guess how big that sucker was?
The stamp?
Stamp.
I have no
Largest
idea.
stamp ever issued was 8.2 inches by 2.5 inches. Bigger than the postcards.
How's that going to go
I
on?
don't know. Apparently it was a really important memo. Coming up, we get a lot of fun stuff. Thanks for listening to our fun facts on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by RadioReallyWorks.com. I know you're listening to a podcast, but did you know the John and Heidi Show is also a radio show? And for those of you who have businesses, you should consider using radio to advertise your business. We can even help you create some catchy little jingles or amazing radio ads that will help pull people in. Get all the details or just learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. I'm very fortunate to be married to this beautiful woman that does the program with me
Aw.
here. Hey, baby, how you doing over there? Well, we're going to talk about people who are maybe not necessarily so happily in love. It says, if you have been feeling alone, don't feel alone. According to a new survey, most young singles in America said that they were home on Valentine's Day. They were not out on a date. About half of single surveys said that they have not been out on more than one date in the last 3 months. Most of those seeking romance said it was difficult to meet people in their towns. And it says, where are the good places to meet people? They're saying the best places are work or school. They came in first, followed closely by being set up by family and friends. Other popular meeting spots were nightclubs, bars, cafes, internet, and then last on the list was church. That should be first on the list. But that's where they go. Now, you and I, where did we meet again? You look familiar. I know you from somewhere.
We met at a bar.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We did meet at a bar. I was dragged there that night, and you were dragged there
I
that night.
was.
So it turned out kind of nice. I'm kind of glad my brother made me go. Thanks, Joe. Otherwise, I might not have married you. I might have married somebody else. And then it'd be the John and somebody else show.
Yes, it would. That would be very sad.
I would be very sad. I'd be crying every day, tears. It would just be awful. Who would want to listen to that? But for those of you that are single, you know, that's something that one of the things they talk about was setting up friends. We've tried that. We've set people up. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it does not. But hang in there, because you know what? There's the perfect guy or gal for you out there somewhere, and just a matter of time before you guys bump into each other.
I harass all my friends. As soon as I find out they're single, I'm like, really?
And that's one of the things I warn people. Like when I talk to somebody that's single, I'm like, don't let Heidi know you're single. I mean,
what I'm
don't
in
tell
need
her.
of are some single girls. I know lots of amazing single guys.
Let's not get started on this again. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
Maine farmers in the state of Maine are desperately seeking qualified applicants to be cow sitters. Heidi,
Okay.
could you be a cow sitter? Have you ever heard of such a thing?
Probably.
If you've never heard of such a thing, don't worry. Most people have not. But the owners of some 450 family-run dairies in Maine are looking for help so they can take an occasional day off once in a while. They say that farmers are the hardest workers in the world. I would agree with that.
I would agree with that.
Growing up, I worked on a farm, and it is a lot of work. And some farmers say They have not taken a single day off of work in over 20
That's
years.
insane.
So to help out, the University of Maine has set up a special program to train prospective cow sitters. To qualify for the program, an applicant must be at least 16 years of age, must be able to work early morning hours, and I'm assuming I'm adding this part, must be in Maine. I'm just, doesn't say that on here, but kind of defeats the purpose if you're not there, right? So if you have an interest in that, might want to check out, whatever that was again. University of Maine, there you go, and their cow sitting program. It's better than the cow tipping program. That
That's
happens
nice.
at every other college in the country. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
How much sleep do kids get? Do you think they get enough sleep?
Currently ours do not.
Yeah, probably not. Children age 4 and under who get less than 10 hours of sleep every night are nearly twice as likely to be overweight or obese 5 years later. According to research from the University
how
of California,
Oh, okay.
age 4 and under.
4 and under. Okay, that makes sense.
Says, and then 5 years later, so when they're 9, they have a better chance of being overweight if they didn't get enough sleep as a kid. Following so far?
Sure, yeah.
This is all from University of California and the University of Washington in Seattle. According to the National Sleep Foundation, toddlers age 1 to 3 should sleep for 12 to 14 hours a night. That's a lot of sleep. Preschoolers age 3 to 5 should sleep 11 to 13 hours, and a 5 to 10-year-old should get 10 to 11 hours. Teens, by the way, should get how much sleep?
8 hours.
8.5 to 9.25 hours of sleep nightly. So
I agree with
kids,
that. Our
get out
kids
there
are
and get more
not
sleep.
getting that much sleep.
I
We need to
recently
crack that whip.
have been getting a little more sleep than I have in the past, and I
And
feel
you're feeling better.
I do. I feel way
Yeah,
better about it. So
I can tell.
I'm a fan of this. Get out and don't get out. Stay in bed. Sleep some more.
Go to sleep.
Something like that. I don't know what I'm saying. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
Do you like blueberries, Heidi?
No, I really don't.
I like blueberries, and I like them in things, and I like them all on their own. So, like, just eating fresh blueberries, delicious. But also, like, blueberry pie, oh, mama, is that stuff
Yeah, I
good.
don't care for blueberries.
I'm a fan.
I like raspberries.
Well, blueberries are what we're talking about. And not only do they turn your tongue blue, but they can actually protect you. Guess what from? Parkinson's
I don't
disease.
know.
Yeah,
Ah.
Parkinson's. Those little blueberries in your breakfast cereal can actually help stave off Parkinson's
I
disease.
do like blueberry.
Blueberry? I don't think that counts. I don't know. Maybe it does. New research says, yes, this is true. A study funded by the National Institute of Health found that men and women who regularly eat berries may have a reduced risk of developing Parkinson's disease. Now, there it says berries. It doesn't say just blueberries. According to a statement from the American Academy of Neurology, it says, what's more, men may further lower their risk by regularly eating oranges, apples, and other rich foods in flavonoids.
See,
Do
I
we do
need to
that?
go buy some fruit.
We need
for
some
us.
flavonoids, Heidi.
We need flavonoids.
How many times have I asked for more flavonoids in the house?
Repeatedly.
If I had a nickel for every time
day.
I've asked for flavonoids, I would finally maybe have a nickel. Also, we're supposed to have more dietary components found in citrus fruits, berries, and chocolate. See, I'm liking
chocolate,
this.
we're good.
I like everything that we just
got
mentioned.
the chocolate covered.
Apples, oranges, flavonoids, and chocolate.
There we go.
I don't know where I'm going to get
I just
those.
threw away some oranges
flavonoids.
yesterday that didn't get eaten.
I know. I
that
feel
bought.
bad because I like them. They're just, those were really hard to peel. Did you notice that?
All oranges are hard to peel.
There's some that like you crack it open and it just like the peel just comes right off. These were like you almost needed a chisel to
I
pound
don't
it.
think so.
And that's how it was.
Okay.
That's why I didn't eat them. All right. Coming up, we got some positive news. We always try to end with that. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap this program up with some positive news, and I think we did that today as well, because I found a story here that's it's a neat story. I didn't know this, but Chinese students are coming to the United States in record numbers to study in America's top universities. Did you know that?
No.
They're also coming in record numbers to study in America's top graduate schools, which means that our education system must be okay if they're coming from all the way around the world.
Or they're coming here because they already know so much in their own country, and college will be a cakewalk, and they can graduate at the top of their class.
Well, that could be, too. All I'm saying is these are two areas, but they're also, this is the thing that's interesting, Chinese students are also coming to the United States in record numbers to study in Christian high schools around the United States.
Oh, that's nice.
They're seeing a huge increase. Now, you have to understand, up until just recently, in China, it was, I don't want to say it was illegal to be a Christian, because it wasn't, but it was very frowned upon. And even still, it's a communist country, so that's not something that they can do openly. So to see this high number of people in China, I was told that there are more new Christians in China than any other country in the world. And now we have this huge increase in students that are coming to study abroad at Christian high schools in America. According to the Christian...
I didn't know studying abroad was a course.
Studying abroad, like on the other side of the world.
Oh.
What are you talking about over there? Always the comedian. Anyway, according to the Christian Examiner, a successful high school experience helps these students find enrollment in and transition to a U.S. university a whole lot easier.
Well, maybe that's why the influx of students coming here to do that is so high. They misunderstood the translation.
What do you mean?
Studying abroad. Maybe they thought, hey, if we go there, I get to
go study some broads?
Yeah.
I don't think that's what it was, Heidi.
So now they're confused. And they're like,
No.
what in the heck? Where are the broads?
I don't think. They probably have never even heard the word broads. So, back on track here. Officials say just under 28% of Chinese high school students obtain visas to attend Catholic schools, while 30% were at schools with non-denominational Protestant affiliations. So they're saying that it's been a huge increase, and it's kind of interesting to see that happening. So,
that's cool.
There you go. Got some positive news right there. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the good folks at Knowles Systems. If you haven't heard of them, well, you need to listen up, because I got to tell you all about this. If you have funds earning less than 6%, maybe you should check into a better system, like Knowles Systems. They have commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. If you've never heard of a commercial mortgage bridge loan, I'm going to tell you what this is. It's a loan paying 6% to 8%, and it could be just what you need. You're placed in the first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels and apartments and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges. You can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. If you'd like more info on how you can start earning 6% or more right now, call 888-547-8007. I'll give you that number again in a second, but first, you might want to just check out the website if that's easier. commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com or 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
And the bonus break is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, maybe you need a better system. You might want to try a commercial mortgage bridge loan. They pay 6% to 8%. And it could be just what you need. And the nice thing is, your loan is actually secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels and apartments and office buildings. If you want to know more, I'm going to give you a website, and I'll give you a phone number as well. And you can get all the details at commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Here's that phone number I promised, 888 888-547-8007. Again, 888-547-8007. Reach out and let them know that the John and Heidi Show sent you. I think my microphone just about broke there. Did you hear that?
I heard that.
I was moving my my microphone as I was talking. Bad idea. I promise I'll leave it alone now. Moving right along, I have some bonus break material for you here. From Hayward, California, police arrested a prolific 911 caller who they said made more than 27,000 emergency calls,
Okay.
overwhelming the highway patrol and the Hayward 911 system.
What was he calling about?
The calls started flooding in last May, and usually operators either heard bodily noises, like making, or murmuring, or beeping tones.
Wow.
The calls were made from an untraceable cell phone, so the culprit was hard to catch, but they finally arrested 45-year-old John Triplett. Ironically, as bizarre and as intense as his crime is, he's only getting a misdemeanor for this. 27,000 911 calls. Apparently, he was bored.
Huh.
There wasn't much joy in the little joyride that Florida's Adele Le de Pena and Jorge L. Valdez recently took. Nailed it. I'm pretty sure. They were cruising in their Crown Victoria Police Interceptor, tricked out with a spotlight, blue and red light bar, and a prison cage to make it look like the real deal. Well, they approached a woman at a gas station, pointed a gun at her, and stole her purse. Then they made their escape on a local highway, grabbing the cash and tossing the purse out the window. Unfortunately, they did so while driving by a real cop. After a brief chase of the fake cop and the real cop, they had real guns pointed at them, and they were taken to a real jail.
Serves them right.
We have read numerous stories about people pretending to be police officers. What is the deal with that?
Well, I suppose if you're going to commit a crime, they probably think it's easier to get away with it if you're dressed as someone with authority.
All right, 23-year-old man in Seattle was enjoying his Sunday afternoon nap when he woke up and started playing with his 9mm handgun.
Oh, boy. This
In a
isn't going
very
to end well.
tired state, the gun went off.
Yeah.
And he shot himself in the left hand.
Oh.
He was quickly transported to the hospital. Oh, first, he woke up right away, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Then he quickly got transported to the hospital where he filled out an injury report. Not aware that the police always follow up on gun wounds, they went to his house and found him growing illegal drugs there as well.
Oh, my gosh.
Police in Seattle are now hoping that other criminals will have, the misfortune of helping them out by shooting themselves in the hand as well.
That's ridiculous.
Making their jobs a whole lot easier. And moving along, we got this here. It looks like calling in sick when you're not sick is not just an American thing. A recent survey finds 71% of Chinese workers are now admitting to calling in sick when they're really not. The survey found that about half of all American workers take a fake sick day, on par with countries like Canada and Australia. On the other hand, French, guess how much fake sick time they get?
I have no idea.
16% of French workers said they fake a sick day. So it was half of Americans, only 16% of the French. But here's why. They get so much vacation.
They get more. Well, that's what I was just going to say. They have so much vacation time.
And we're going to move on with this final story here. It was anything but a high-speed chase when a Toronto man took off on a backhoe. He was going to break down the wall of a car wash to get it at a coin machine.
Oh, my gosh.
However, plucking the coin machine out of the car wash didn't go as smoothly as he hoped, and didn't go unnoticed either. A snowplow driver was driving by and saw what happened, and the chase was on. Police were called. The crook soon abandoned his slow-moving backhoe in an attempt to speed away on foot. The getaway might have been a little more successful, but he left his footprints in the snow, leading the police directly to where he'd run off to.
Wow.
So it was not the smartest thing to do. Again, that doesn't surprise me because typically it's, if you're a dumb criminal, you do dumb things. Just the way it works. It's going to do it for your bonus break, brought to you by Knowles Systems. I'm going to give you their website. Check it out. If you've got funds earning less than 6%, check out a commercial mortgage bridge loan. They pay 6 to 8%, and you're going to love them. I know a lot of folks now that are switching over to this, and they're enjoying it. So check it out. CommercialMortgageBridgeLoans.com.